Hey everyone, Dean with Masterpiece of Gold and Silver here. Today we have a special two-part video. This is part one if you're joining us today. Thank you for that. The first part here is on Canadian large cents. We're going to be starting with the 1858 and working our way up. And why are we doing this two-part video? Because Happy Canada Day. It is July 1st, Canada Day, to celebrate the day that Canada came together in Confederation back in 1867. So, like I said, we're going to be starting with the 1858 large cent from the province of Canada. The 1858 is a great coin to purchase. The 1859, which I have here as well, these two coins were minted specifically for the province of Canada and were later inherited by the Dominion of Canada, but we'll get into that a little later. So the mintage is a little over 400,000 of these. Some people argue that there's actually closer to 1 million, but it depends on the book that you look at or the website as well. This is a really nice example, probably in that very good to maybe tipping into the fine, but probably very good. It's got a really nice chocolate brown color to it, which again, this is a nice original looking large cent for the grade. There is some pitting on Queen Victoria's face, but that's okay. Here's a nice 1859. This one is probably more in the fair to about good. The mintage on the 1859 is a little over 8 million. And these, both the 1858 and 1859, have a lot of different varieties, especially the 1859. I only have one example of the 1858, but I do have some here of the 1859s. This one here is one of my favorite examples. And the reason why I have so many is because, grades, and also you have the narrow nines, you have the wide nines, there's a whole bunch. This one here with the beautiful wood grain toning is just really fantastic. And this is probably in the lower extremely fine grade, but the details really are there and wonderful. This is just really one of my favorite coins to own. I think it's very original. The one here to your left here on the left-hand side of the screen, obviously somebody has cleaned it to make it look more red. It's got some issues, but the details are really wonderful. It's also in that extremely fine details category. Unfortunately, there is some graffiti on her neck, and just comparing it to this beautiful coin here, you can see really the difference between the original and the not so original. Let's take a closer look here at the first one here that's kind of cleaned. Again, graffiti there on her neck, but again, the details of her hair and everything, that's what you really want to see on these 1858 and 1859s. I will say here, it can be a little tricky because on this one here, the coin I really like, you can see fantastic details, but you'll notice the rim, it's very flat, which that just has to do with strike. You can see a lot of die cracks on this 1 cent coin. The reverse is my favorite. The toning is fantastic. It really is a really nice original look. I don't think somebody tried to do that. That's just kind of how it toned. You can see some nice die cracks in the mix as well. And it's just really, really a fantastic coin to own. I do have some other 1859s. They're in the about good to good category. And these range in price. You can get some good deals on these. They usually run around $20 American, depending on the grade. They're just a really nice early cent to get. Most of these I picked up in collections. The 1858 I did buy from a collector, just the coin individually. But a lot of these 1859s I just purchased in large collections. Most of my large cents actually came that way. So I think we got some. Let me see what else we got here. I just wanted to. Yeah, we're going to jump on to the 1876 here in a second. And I just wanted to share, if I can find it. Here's the 1876 H with the mintage of 4 million. So the H stands for the Heaton Mint. And the Heaton Mint struck the 1876 through the 1882. And then the Birmingham Limited Mint, they struck the 1890, 1898, and 1900, and they also have an H mint mark on there. This is a really nice example. You'll notice that Queen Victoria's portrait has changed, but yet the reverse is the same style as the 1858 and 1859. I think I said this before, but the 1858 and 1859 was struck for the province of Canada, but the Dominion of Canada after 1867, when Confederation happened, the Dominion of Canada actually inherited all of the 1858 and 1859s, and they were actually put into circulation as currency, or I should say as coins, to be used throughout the country, throughout the Dominion of Canada. So that's one of the reasons why many people do consider the 1858 and 1859 to be large cents of Canada. This one here has some great details. Unfortunately, somebody has attempted to make it red again, which is really a shame. But it's the details I really want to focus on. You can see that H, that's the common look for the H. Again, there's some varieties of the 1876. Here's another example in 1876. This one's not so nice, but the color is really that dark brown is what you see often on these large cents. And that's really the more original color. Here's an 1881 H, 2 million, I believe, was the mintage on these. Again, really nice detail. It's just a shame somebody has tried to alter the color. Here is another 1881 H. This one is not as nice, but again, you kind of get the sense of what the coin looks like. Let's see. We'll get a truck on here. Oh, that's back to the... Guess I'm a little out of order here. Here is... Let me take this, get the better view here. Sorry, the plastics, it's hard focusing. This is a 1882 H with a mintage of 4 million. This is, again, a nice example as far as the details go, but unfortunately somebody has attempted to make it lighter, make it that red color. There's another 1882 H. These are just nice. Many people would probably consider these just fillers, the whole fillers, but in an album. But these are just, it's nice to hold on to these. They have lower mintages. It doesn't necessarily mean that they're scarce, but they do have lower mintages. Here's a nice 1886. Another 1886. Let me see. Here's another 1886. Should be another 1886 here as well. Yep. So let me see. Oh, here's an 1887. The mintage on these were pretty low at 1,500,000. These are really great. These are in that kind of good category as far as grading goes. And unfortunately, this one, again, somebody has tried to make it red. Let me see here. Here's another nice 1888 with a mintage about 4 million of these. The 88's really nice. This one unfortunately has some rim damage. You can see how flat the leaves are and the details of her face. So this is a much lower grade coin, probably in that about good to, well, really about good. Range. But a nice filler if you don't have a nice 1888. Here's what I got here. Let me just keep track of these. Here's another 1888. This one's a little bit nicer, a little bit more original as far as the tone is. Here's another one, unfortunately not as nice. Somebody's kind of played with that one a little bit, but this one's not too bad. So let's take this one out and get a closer look. So you can see here a nice chocolate brown color, probably in that good category with the portrait. The leaves are pretty flat, so I'd put that there. Some rim damage here. You can see some fresh nicks there on the rim, unfortunately. But yeah, it's a nice example. Let's put those back, and we'll keep trucking on here. Let's see, what do we got here? That's the 1887. Sorry, I think we already looked at those. Let's put those back. 1890. Let me see. Yeah, the 1890H. These only had 1 million produced. This one's kind of chewed up, but I kept it because it does have decent details, and there's not very many of them out there. Here is an 1891. There's a little over a million. I think it's 1,453,000 of these that were produced. And this one, again, not the best, but it's got some decent details. So that's one of the reasons why I keep it. If I could get this to actually focus on this coin. You can see it's a nice original coin, probably in that closer to that very good to maybe even tipping into the fine stage. This is one of my favorites. This is an 1891. This coin is really fantastic. The details are really in that extremely fine category. This one might even tip into the about uncirculated, but it's just in certain angles in the light you'll see a little bit of luster left, but I think that's probably what keeps it in the extremely fine category or grade. Nice wood grain toning. If you go back and check out my obverse video on the different obverses, I go into detail of the different obverses, which means the different portraits of Queen Victoria. But this is just really a beautiful coin. Nice original wood grain tone. I think I go back and forth of wanting to send this off to PCGS or someplace else. Beautiful coin though. Another 1891. Don't think we really need to look at another one. Let's just keep trucking here. This one here. Oh, this is the 1892. There's about a 1,200,000 of these, I believe. And what do we got here? Yeah, this is another 1892. Lower grades, these are about $6 to $10. Nothing too great. This one's pretty nice, but again, I think this was an old clean, just from how it looks. But again, it's a nice coin to put into your folder if you're just trying to fill some holes. Again, there's a lot of different varieties for these coins. So each one of these years have a little different reverse variety or even obverse variety. Here's an 1893. The mintage of these were about 2 million. 1893 is one of my favorites. These ones have been kind of played with. You can see the color's been changed a little bit. But don't worry, I've got a really nice example here. This is another one of my favorite large cents to own. This one you can see a little red under there. A little tiny bit of luster left. I put this again into that extremely fine category. The details are just beautiful on this coin. Just really one of my favorites. Just look at the detail that's left here. I don't know. It might tip into the AU, the about uncirculated, but I just don't think there's enough luster. But this is just one of my favorites. And there's actually a die clash as well. If you look by the 3, if I can get this angle right, we can see Queen Victoria's throat. Let's see if we can get this angle right. So I want to show you this. So remember, this is a metal axis, meaning that it's not a coin axis. So that's her throat right there. You can see there the bottom of her chin, and then the throat right there by the 3. So when we flip it over, you can see right there. So see just below her chin, where her chin and throat meet. That's what we're seeing on this side as a die clash by the 3. So again, this is just one of my favorite coins to own. Let's just keep looking here. Oh, I think that's another 92. We've looked at those. Let's see. Yep. So this is just, I hope you're enjoying this. I hope I'm not boring you, but the large cents are just really wonderful, especially circulated. Oh, here's a nice 1894. There was only 1 million of these produced. Again, there's a lot of different varieties of these. There's the thin 4 and the thick 4 for the 1894. Here's an 1896. There was only about 2 million of these produced. Let's just keep looking. Here's the 1897. 1,500,000 of these were produced. Again, even though there's small mintages, here's a 98. The 1898, I think, was 1 million. But despite the small mintages, here's the 1899. About 2.4 million of these produced. Let's Let's see. And then I think this is the 1900. So even though some of these have low mintages, they're not exactly a key date because there was a lot that survived. Here's a 1900. The mintage was 2,600,000 of these. So we're getting close to the end of Queen Victoria's reign. These are just really nice. There is a 1900H of these. So you have the 1900 and then the 1900H. The H is actually the more common. This is the 1901 with a mintage of 4,100,000. You can see there are a little red left on that one. I do have quite a few of the 1901s. These are really kind of nice to keep to hang on to. And then here we go. We're going to be going right into the 1902s with a mintage of 3 million. So this is the first year of Edward VII, King Edward VII, Queen Victoria's son, who is crowned in 1902. And this is just a really nice example. Unfortunately, it looks like somebody has played with the color a little bit. But overall, I really like the details of this coin. The leaves are really wonderful, and so is the details on the king as well. So again, you can see that you can really tell when somebody's played with the color, tried to make it look red, which is really a shame because they really destroy the value of the coin, because that chocolate brown is what you're really looking for if you're looking for a nice circulated large cent. Let me see here. I lost my place, but with King Edward coins, these are really nice. There are some lower mintages that make it a little bit harder to find nice quality ones, but let me just move our little flag here. These are just really nice, especially if you like large cents. American large cents are obviously much more expensive. There's a 1905 with a mintage of 2 million. There's the 1904 with a mintage of 2.5 million. And these are just really nice and relatively inexpensive. Here's 1906, 4.1 million, I believe. I'm trying to think as I go here. I'm kind of glancing at my book as well. This is the 1907. This is kind of cool. So the 1907 has a mintage of 2 million or 2.4 million, but there is the 1907H. This is the one you want to look for. There's only 800,000 of these that were struck. So this is the variety that people really want to look for. Just in very good, you're talking about a $20 coin. So here you can see there's no H on the 1907, and then here you can see just below the 1907 the H. So the 1907H is the one you really want to look for. Really, you're going to be happy with both, but anyway. Here's 1909, mintage on the 1909. Oh, well, I'll have to look. Here's the 1908. Yeah, the mintage on this was 2,401,506. And then the 1909, if I remember correctly, you got to check my notes, but I'm trying to search for coins as I go. Oh, here we go. Here's another 1909. Mintage 3,973,339. So these are more accurate mintages. You can tell that way back when they weren't doing as well. But here's 1908. The 1908 is fun because this is the first year of the Royal Mint in Ottawa. So in 1908, January 1908, the Royal Mint in Ottawa opened. So this coin was actually struck in Canada rather than at the Royal Mint in London. Obviously, the name changed as years go on. We know it today as the Royal Canadian Mint. And there are actually several locations now of the Royal Canadian Mint. But the Ottawa branch is obviously the main mint in Canada. Just trying to... Oh, here's the 1910. Let me see if I can get a good example of the 1910. So 1910 had a mintage of 5,146,487, and it's also the final year of King Edward VII. So I think we're going to end part one here with this coin, and we're going to start up part two with King George V. So please come back to check that out. As you can see here, this is a really nice detailed coin here of Edward VII. Yes, there's some little marks here and there just from circulation. But yeah, really fantastic. So anyway, please come back for part 2, and you can check out King George V, and we're going to go through some really key dates. So until we meet again, stay safe and enjoy.